Hey everyone, welcome back to Pitfall, the Lost Expedition. I'm here with just Connor this go around.
Hello.
And we are entering the penultimate part of Pitfall.
Right.
A little bit of alliteration there.
Ah, nice.
And back half of this game is pretty cool. There's a pretty cool section that we're going to be going through in this video. I always feel sad when I get to the end of a game like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like towards the end of like Twilight Princess, I just didn't want it to end.
Yeah.
I think they really missed the boat on that game. They should have totally had, and I know it's a lot of extra work, so there's, most games don't do this, but there are some that do, and I love it. When you can walk around the world after you beat the final boss, and everyone has new dialogue. They're like, oh, thank you for fighting the evil, or I wonder who, took care of Ganon. Who wonder who that was? That sort of thing. You can complete all your mini games. Maybe there's a few bonuses that open up.
Yeah, that kind of changes based on genre. Like the more kind of open world sort of action, like Grand Theft Auto sort of games, sort of have that. I guess not many really did back when Twilight Princess came out.
Well, there were plenty of JRPGs that did stuff like that. It's just a lot of extra work, but I'm like, this is a AAA Nintendo title.
Right. Does Breath of the Wild have that?
Maybe.
I don't
know.
Right.
But I wish they had it for Twilight Princess, because that was my favorite.
Yeah.
Alright, check this out.
You can tell by the way I use my walk.
Dude, that was like me on a Saturday night.
Yeah. Me springing the kitchen trap while looking for beans.
Dude, look at this. We were captured.
Oh, dang.
Even given a fashionable bruise on the cheek.
Oh, right, yeah. You were going to get captured so that you could do something.
Yeah. He needed to sneak in so he could get the something or other from the bad guy. But all of our items have been lost, so we have to recapture them. So this is pretty common sort of thing that you see games do. I actually enjoy these sorts of, go back to the basics and get everything that you had before.
Alright, so...
Yeah, so it shows us where everything is.
Yeah, so you'll need to make your way through the area, probably getting things as you go along, and then...
Yeah, and it's kind of a stealth section. I say kind of, because if you knock somebody out, they stay knocked out, and if you're caught, you just get thrown back in your cage. So, I mean, it takes a little bit of time, but really you can just sort of, you just sort of punch people and be done with it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd say that's a stealth section, especially with, like, getting caught and getting, reset. That's...
But just the fact that there's not any, like, penalty, you don't have to restart the whole thing from the beginning. Like, if you want to, you can painstakingly punch one guy, get thrown in the cell. Punch one guy, get thrown in the cell.
Yeah.
And they captured an explorer here, too.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
It was an especially long one.
He was very happy. Very overjoyed.
He was arguably in the best place of any of them, because some of the other guys are like buried behind stone pillars just in some corner of the jungle.
Right, the other guys will probably die if you don't find them. Here, it's like they probably, remembered to throw scraps in there every so often.
Yeah. Look how muscly these guys are, and then you just knock them out.
So I guess how much noise or whatever do you need to make to get caught? I saw
pretty much anything but sneaking.
So you basically have to sneak directly up to one of these guys and then hit them.
Yeah, unless you're above them, then they don't notice as much.
Mm-hmm. But it's not like you can, run at them, if they're the only one in the room and kick them before they raise the alarm or something.
No, that doesn't work too well.
Okay.
Rolling around, I think, is also quiet, maybe?
Like, I guess back in the day, like your first time playing this, did you, keep getting caught when you thought you shouldn't have? Is it, too tough, or?
It's pretty easy to get caught, I'd say.
Okay.
But like I said, there's no penalty to it, so it's just annoying more than it is difficult.
Yeah, but just like, when games that aren't built as stealth games try to have stealth sections, that can have varying results.
I mean, they do have the howlers throughout the game that you can sneak past, but I usually just don't. Because it's...
Right.
I'd rather just punch all of them.
Man, I don't want to take my time.
You're too slow,
I guess, so I'm guessing if you walk through the center of the room or like where the mirrors are beaming light, you'd get caught?
Yeah, you'll be seen right away.
So were you trying to kick one out of position there? Like...
Yeah, because I couldn't remember exactly how to do this. Eventually I figure it out, but... Yeah, you see, there's a guy right there with a flashlight.
Okay, he's like shining a flashlight.
So you gotta get him, but getting him is kind of hard, because if you jump down in front of him, he sees you right away. Like, there's no exclamation point, over the head sort of thing. Like, I mean, if they see you, you get thrown back in the cage.
Dang.
So I'm far enough away I can at least sprint around here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this works. Like, can you knock the lights out of position? You just couldn't knock that one? Or do you just need to find a cool way to sneak up on him?
I think I end up just finding a way to try and sneak on him. I think I'm trying to get into that tent over there.
Oh, yeah. It has a idol in it.
Yeah, that we need TNT for. Don't you wish you had Harry's skills?
Enough, it'll work. Yeah. You don't want to meet him on the dance floor.
Dude, I seriously wish that this game had a sequel. I thought it was a lot of fun. Clearly.
Yeah.
And finally I'm like, oh, well, what if I jump up here?
What if you jump up here?
And I realized it really didn't do anything, but I need to get into that tent, so now I'm like, oh. And we get the shield.
Okay. What does the shield let you do again?
It blocks you from spikes, and there was a spike door that we need to bash down with it.
Oh, right. Okay.
We have to wait until we have the sling to take this guy out.
Yeah. I figure this is one of those where, you'll get an item back and you need that item for what is, like, immediately stopping you from progress.
Yeah, in this case, this door. See, so it's a little confusing. You don't take care of the light guy. You have to navigate his area and then go through here.
Yeah, I definitely would have thought, you had to stop the light guy.
Yeah, so it tells us here we need the sling, though.
Okay. Should have done one of those, like, Prince of Persia kind of camera goes around the rooms and shows you the cool parkour you need to do.
I mean, Prince of Persia was a great game.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you get those on, like, good old games or on Xbox or PlayStation Store or,
you probably get the OG one on there.
Yeah. But, like, the ones for PS2, Xbox, GameCube.
Usually if they've had a PC release, it's more likely. Dude, I took that guy to flip out.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. That was coordinated.
Yeah, and the thing is that if you don't hit them with it, then it will just alert them. See? Look, they catch you immediately.
What? I couldn't understand that.
It was just a bunch of pseudo-Australian gibberish.
Okay.
Just like, oh, we called him, get him by the gift of some baby, the corporate of baby, oi. It might be offensive, but Australians are not offended by being stereotyped. Like, in a world where everyone's tries their best to be as offended as possible, Australia stands as the last bastion of never offended.
Dang. Yeah.
Like, they made Crocodile Dundee. What other country would make a movie so indulgent of stereotypes about itself? It'd be like if China released a Charlie Chan movie. It's just like...
I feel like there's probably some New York, like mafia movies or gangster movies or something that, or like comedies, that have some played up personas.
Yeah, but they're probably...
Hey, I'm walking here kind of thing.
Yeah, probably. But like, where it's just such a stereotype like that. I mean, I guess like a Larry the Cable Guy movie, but like, that's not necessarily as self-aware. Also, look at this guy's shitty pattern. He just sort of walks all over the place. And there's 2 of them there. Yep. Yep.
Oh, what? I didn't even... Okay.
I don't even know what... it's so easy for them to hear. I think it's because I walked a normal step and they heard me through the tent.
See, yeah, this... I'll say, this seems a little slow.
Oh, it is. It's. I mean, consider the fact that it's almost. It's look how long it's made this part.
Yeah, and like, did it even really show you where to go? So you just have to like check each tent and possibly get caught if you go into the wrong one.
Correct.
Oh, good.
I do like his sneaking animation though.
They say that it's like it's how something ends that sticks with you. So. Yeah, if Pitfall had kind of a crappy segment near its end, maybe that's, kind of influenced people's opinions.
Yeah, there's the sling.
I guess you can, like, get up to a tent and, the camera will kind of show you what's in there. What?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how the hell to get into this.
They, like, backed it up against the wall and this side doesn't open.
There's a hole in the roof.
Yeah, that's what I was starting to think. It's like Super Mario 64, when you gotta get into the igloo or the ice maze.
Yeah, where you get captured and you have to get all your weapons back.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to need my gun if I'm going to kill Gay Bowser.
God, imagine if there was a stealth segment in Super Mario 64.
Yeah, exactly.
You drop into like Bowser in the Dark World, and if you get seen by a Goomba, you get thrown in jail.
I always thought, wouldn't it be great to make a game that has like one level that's just the absolute worst? It just contains everything that people hate, and the developers include it, even though they know they shouldn't. And I realized that Vector Man already exists.
Yeah, great.
I will never understand the love for Vector Man. That is the biggest hot take for me. That game is so... I mean, we're talking about on the 3rd stage alone. Every stage is a time limit, pretty tight time limit, I'd say. Actually, it might be the 4th stage I'm thinking of. I don't remember exactly. It's pretty early on. But like, so every stage is a tight limit, a pretty tight time limit, which is annoying in and of itself. Weapon power-ups are all temporary. That's annoying. We want it Contra style. If I get that spread gun, I want to keep it. And just a few levels in, like I said, you have a vertical, underwater, ice maze with a time limit, and I'm like, are you shitting me? Like, literally the only thing it's not is an escort mission.
Yeah, and Vector Man was like SNES, right? Or
that was a Genesis game. It was
right,
Genesis
but like
exclusive,
that era. So
yeah, and I'm like, I mean, I have no idea what they were thinking. It's so bad, and like for newer games, I'm like, wouldn't it be great to have a game that is a timed maze? It's an escort mission. Maybe it has some ice physics. Enemies you can't kill.
You said it was
stealth.
You said it was underwater and ice.
Yeah. So so it has slow, floaty physics, and if you land on a platform, you slip off of it. It's the most evil thing ever created. And it's vertical, so once you slip off a ledge, you end up slowly falling all the way to the bottom, eating into your tight time limit.
Okay.
These things they compound on each other.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the worst that it could possibly be.
They did it so no one else ever had to. I don't know.
It was a real sacrifice. Yeah, so you might notice I'm completely stuck. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. But I swear I figured it out.
Yeah, you tried to jump on the roof of the tent and you just slipped off.
Yeah, and so I'm like trying to put the pieces together. I'm like, what the hell do I possibly do?
Yeah, because I think you saw the opening. Again,
Did you like that?
Yeah, it kind of slips you off. So I wouldn't say this is you being lost. I'd say this is you thinking, like, if you got on the roof, yeah, it just wouldn't let you. I guess you need to jump from really high above to land in the hole.
Yeah, it's sort of like you tried to solve it before I do. Because here's a howler monkey.
In a cage.
Yeah, they keep them in a cage so that way that happens. Yes, just landing on the ground near it woke him up.
I don't want to be too negative, but this sucks.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. It. On the bright side, you become very familiar with what this part of the level looks
yeah,
like.
you could just run past, like, the first room.
Whoa. And I'm like, man, what the fuck do I do?
Can you push boxes around?
No. But then I notice that there's a lever over here.
Oh.
And it's like, oh yeah.
That's brown. Just like the wall and the floor and everything else.
And it lets me into this area. And I'm like, oh. Well, why'd you tell me I need the sling and then put the sling somewhere where I can't get it? Like, this is just a mistake. They highlighted the target on the wall and told me to get the sling?
Yeah.
I can't get it yet. Instead, I need to go flip the lever over here and come out here.
Yeah, that's bad game design. You show someone an objective like that, and they're always going to think they immediately, that's the next thing they need to take care of.
But you see, now I'm in this huge courtyard. It's full of these dickheads.
Yeah, it went from like 2 guys in that room to like 10 guys all across this.
Yeah, and there's also howler monkeys all over the place. But they don't hear you, again, as long as you're above them.
But I guess I don't see them. Then again, I'm not familiar with the game, obviously.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this whole section just screwed them out of a sequel.
I mean, not one-to-one kind of thing, but definitely, if you play a game that has a bad ending, I'm not saying this is the ending. There's another part, but like, if you play a game with an awful final boss fight or something, that definitely you remember that strongest.
Yeah, there's a reason why I didn't cut any of this down, because I wanted you to know my pain.
Oh, right, yeah, it's the standard, people suffer with me kind of. No, I mean, yeah. I do that,
Yeah, also to be fair, I might have still cut stuff out, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there's easy cutting points every time you get caught and thrown back.
Yeah, and so it's so annoying. Look, I even have to sneak here because of that howler monkey. There's things everywhere.
Yeah.
Makes me want to whip out my yo-yo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Playing with the yo-yo. I'm sorry. To try and make yo-yoing cool, I guess, people started calling it in the yo-yo community, like the people who like do all the crazy tricks. They've started calling it throwing.
Okay.
Instead of yo-yoing. Because you do throw a yo-yo, but rather than calling it yo-yoing, they say, like, do you throw?
Hey man, you want to go throw?
Yeah, that's exactly what they say.
What are you talking about? Like a football or what?
Like, isn't that the most like 90s thing you've ever heard?
Yeah, like throw is one of those words where you need, like it needs to be attached to something.
Bro, let's go. I want to throw.
Whoa. That should be one of your like rhyme lines. Rhymes,
Exactly. But no, like, I do have a yo-yo, and I do know pretty decent number of tricks, and it's very relaxing to throw. Is what I was getting at. Oh, look how fucking annoying this is.
Oh.
Did you see that shit? 2 guys surrounding the pickaxes and a light and a howler. It's like, you think that's enough?
It's like, literally, you can't stop sneaking as slow as possible for 1 second.
Yeah, and finally I'm like, can I walk past this howler monkey? Yes, I can. Alright, well, at least that is a little bit
Yeah, at least
nicer.
now you can get back here in like 10 seconds.
But you see, people make fun of vision cones, but the thing about vision cones is they make the game better. Because you can actually plan for things, you know?
Yeah, or like, you know, getting first like a warning, like a, huh, what was that noise kind of thing.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Yeah, in real life, I have better awareness of what somebody's vision is than I do in a video game. So to compensate for the fact that it's a video game, wasn't that a cool stealth kill?
Oh, you kicked him while still under the truck?
Well, yeah, because to sweep kick, you have to crouch and then kick. So because I was crouched in the ball mode, I could sweep kick him.
Okay.
There's a howler monkey right there.
Oh, I see the cage, yeah.
And then I'm like, I probably should just be caught, because it's quicker. So I do, yes.
You could have gotten back in the freaking river by the time that thing howled.
Yeah, but the second they howl, they see you no matter where you are. It's the best stealth segment ever.
I guess now that you have the pickaxe, can you do something to save you time?
Well, I can get the slingshot. But until I get the TNT, which of course is the last thing I get, I won't be able to kill the howlers in the cages.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
Do.
Can you do something with the slingshot to, like, knock people out from afar?
Yeah, remember I bought the super slingshot?
Okay, so now you could just run past this room, stand at the opening, and start, you know, knocking the humans out. It's like that's what I'm talking about. Like, at least if running to get the slingshot or the pickaxe and then getting caught and getting sent back, does that make your life easier? And by getting the slingshot, it sounds like it kind of does.
It definitely does. Electric eels.
Oh, night. Did they think you needed the raft and you can just do this
Well, you
without?
do need the raft for the. You do need the raft for that second part.
Oh, okay.
There's piranha here, so I gotta swim fast. I don't know why I'm getting so lost here. I guess I decided I'm gonna take these guys out.
Give them a piece of your slingshot or something, I don't know.
Yeah, so I go looking for a sniper post. I'm like, hey, this'll work.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can do that, like, without getting caught, or maybe their pathing was just worked out perfectly.
Of course, you know, I've mentioned the bad dead zones in
Yeah.
emulation that I could fix, but
I guess, like, at
fun.
least missing them doesn't alert them.
Yeah. And they don't run around either. They all have set paths. So that guy just sort of looks around like, huh.
Huh. Jerry just passed out on the spot again. Classic Jerry.
Classic narcolepsy.
Yeah.
Dude, these guys hit the deck hard.
I mean, you hit them hard.
He is Pitfall Harry. I mean, we've seen him punch through, like, stone columns like it's nothing.
Right. Pitfall Harry doesn't pull any punches. Nice.
God. It's so annoying trying to hit people with this fucking sling. At least I have it. It is an optional buy. If you didn't have it, this whole area would be even more of a nightmare.
Yeah, yeah.
It is nice that they let you get up here and do this, though.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it looks like this thing's freaking saving grace.
Yeah, the super sling. Yeah, why have I been calling it a slingshot? It's a sling. I I saw Brian Jock get that wrong in one of the Redwall books, Mossflower, and I was like, editor should have caught that. Because a slingshot is, like, you think about it, it's a piece of wood shaped like, in a Y shape with a piece of elastic,
Yeah.
A sling is what this is, where it's a long strip or thong that you swing something in a circle and then fling it. A sling and a slingshot are two different things.
Yeah.
Here's the raft.
Yeah, that made it way easier.
Mm-hmm.
If you,
another invisible lever.
This one was more visible.
Yeah, once I got right next to it. I guess they're counting on you going up to the doors and seeing them.
Yeah, but like the lever back in the other room was like horizontal, honestly, which kind of made it blend in the wall. But so like, could you have just jumped across the tops of the pillars to like, and the human enemies wouldn't have heard you either?
Correct.
So I guess that's what they were
Bruce Almighty
intending
moon.
you to do. Because, yeah, you basically jumped across the entire area by doing that.
This area has like no skybox. I should have looked up into the sky because it has the free look. It's like just one color of blue and with a moon.
I always struggle with that. I never like look up at skyboxes while playing, but then when, recording videos, people will point out like the cool skyboxes, and I was like, oh, I literally never looked up there.
You know what I want to do, sometime this year?
What do you want to do?
I want to do a full playthrough, with some of the, you, me, some of the other guys of Serious Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Serious Sam Fusion came out, and so it's got the HD versions, and it's, the net play works perfectly, unlike the Revolutions, which is still kind of fucked. They're working on it, but... So, the net play works beautifully. And I'm like, I don't know if we'll do first encounter, second encounter, or maybe Serious Sam 3. I know a lot of people didn't like Serious Sam 3, but I thought it was fun. I think it'll be more enjoyable with more people. Because there are some parts that are tedious. That is, if we just kept the enemy count, like let's say it's 5 of us playing. Rather than having there be 5 times as many enemies, have 2.5 times as many enemies. You see what I'm saying?
What, you don't want to do 10 times enemies with like... and like 100x like fire rate or whatever it was.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe just like a normal playthrough, but we'll do half the amount of enemies there normally would be, so that way it's sort of like Serious Sam Express. Maybe bump the damage slightly to compensate for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I didn't play Serious Sam 3, but I think it was just that it was, got affected by the brown and gray trend.
Well, the brown and gray trend, and there were a few enemies that people didn't like. And the final boss is like a puzzle boss. That's kind of dumb, but like, I don't know. I mean, I think it would just be fun to play through as a group,
Yeah.
That one also makes for the environments work the best for like squad tactics, especially early on where you're like going through this like city, and so there's very much like, all right, you go this way, you go that way, the sort of SWAT team stuff. I love that sort of shit, Rainbow Six shit.
Huh.
And I like that in games where it's not forced into the design, where there's like a built-in command system. But like any game that lets you organically sort of delegate and be like, you go here, spread, fan, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It feels good. But I don't know, I just thought it'd be fun to play through.
Yeah, I mean, Serious Sam is a good series.
Yeah, I'm a little stuck on it, but I don't know, when I play an FPS game, there's something very specific I want from it. And, like, Serious Sam has it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd be able to, like, join you. I know back when we tried, like, what was it, like 6 years ago?
6 years ago,
yeah. I had a pretty crappy laptop, and so, well,
Yeah, now you went down to Walmart and said, give me your finest gaming computer.
I actually went over to, was it a Woot sale or a Newegg sale? I don't remember, but...
Yeah. They'll probably Woot, because that's where I got mine. What was Walmart's gaming PC called?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, OP. That's what it was called, OP.
Nice. I saw, like,
What do you have? Do you have an Omen too?
I always forget. I don't think it's an Omen. What was HP's other thing aside from the Pavilion and the Omen? Or no, Pavilion. Yeah.
Oh, it's a Pavilion. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like the highest end, but it, you know, it still runs stuff like seriously. I'm fine. Let me hold on. Hopefully there's not too much keyboard noise in here, but I saw like a really weird PC that had, you know, was getting made.
I wish I could afford one of those cool cube PCs that Omen released. I mean, the one I have costs like $2,000, so it's like,
yeah.
It's not like it's low grade or anything. And people are like, "Well, you build your own, save money." I'm like, yeah. Or I could just save myself the time and effort that comes from doing that and just buy one that's already made. That comes with a warranty.
Yeah. Oh. Let me try and find some better pictures. Okay, so there were 2 things in this room you got, right? I think.
Yeah, things are sort of speeding up now.
Yeah, especially now that you can, like, take them all out.
Except for the annoying howlers. That's why I'm still sneaking.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Because yes, even if you kill every human, waking up a howler will still send you back.
Weird. I'm sending you this long-ass Best Buy link just because that has the best pictures. But, like, Alienware Aurora R9, it, like, looks like a fan. God, honestly, it's...
Yeah, it's
pretty weird looking, but it's like the newest top of the line.
I really like that fucking cube that they had, that Omen did.
Was that the one?
See that?
Was that the one that was like diagonal at a 45-degree angle?
Looks like
yeah.
So
like one of the corners was at the bottom. Huh.
Exactly.
Yeah,
well, it was
I've
like
never seen it.
Yeah, it looks so cool.
Yeah.
Dude, look at this.
Oh. Yeah.
So that's the only time you'll see those gas cubes, rather than like the plants, because it wouldn't make sense that they would have plants. See, look, they don't even see me up here.
100% shadow.
He really is. He's great at that. Dude, I tried to play Splinter Cell and it kicked my ass.
Yeah, Splinter Cell is like still one of the ultimate like stealth series.
It's so freaking cool though.
Yeah.
Sam Fisher, you know. I had one of those GameCube preview discs, and that's where I first played Splinter Cell.
Oh, yeah.
And Billy Hatcher and Beautiful Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, nobody remembers Billy Hatcher. He is forgotten.
Good morning. I remember Billy Hatcher, but that's just because it's one of those things where I was like, made a conscious effort to.
Dude, Beautiful Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful Joe. That shit was awesome.
They should bring that back.
They should also bring back the Condemned series, but it's past its time now. Matt and I were talking one time, like, you know, in like the sort of like late 90s, I guess it started with like Trent Reznor and that sort of thing, but into the early 2000s, you just had that trend of like just grimy, violent industrial movies and video games and music, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's when we got Saw and Hostel, a whole bunch of other torture porn sort of movies. Fucking Seven.
Well.
Yeah.
The fool has grown a spy.
Oh.
Leave now, and perhaps I will spare your life.
You've got it backwards, St. Clair. If you give them to me, I'll spare yours.
If you harm me, my men will kill you.
Wrong again. When I kill you, your men will follow me.
Well, just like that.
To Nicole's father when he figured out he wasn't the one. With St. Clair out of the picture, it was clear that Pusko was the real problem. I had to get to Miki before he figured out that I had escaped.
Oh, I thought there'd Be more talking.
Yeah, well, you see, there we go. So, also, if you left those two guys alive, then they would have followed him when he, like, did that little hand motion.
Oh, really? Yeah, because I was wondering.
I killed them. He just did a hand motion to their, like, bodies, and they're like, on the
I was
floor.
kind of wondering that, like, yeah, you saw them lying on the ground outside. It was like, if you spared them, would they have stopped Puzco? You know? I mean, you know.
Yeah, now I don't have to be stealthy anymore.
Nice. Wow, yeah. Yeah, Puzco just does some magic and just wrecks St. Clair, and he's dead.
Yeah, you can go in there and look at his corpse and all that. But no, I was talking about, like, those... I probably talked about this before, but, like, no, you had those grimy-ass movies, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And video games like Condemned and Manhunt, remember?
Yeah, I think that was, like, the ultimate.
The Darkness.
The Darkness was, like, based off a comic.
Yeah, but it was still grimy and edgy and ultra-violent.
Yeah, I think Manhunt was, like, the pinnacle, because wasn't it that it was going to be, like, adults only, and they had to censor it a bunch to get it
The Suffering, it takes place at a maximum security prison in Baltimore. That's as grimy as it gets.
Oh, I actually, like, looked up stuff about The Suffering, you know, a few months ago or so. Just because I got reminded of it, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's a game that I saw but never played. So, yeah, like, The Suffering and Suffering 2. Yeah, I actually looked them up.
Yeah, and, like, Condemned and Condemned 2 Bloodshot, I mean, those were awesome games, and, it's like, that's just not in vogue anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And so we're never gonna get, they talked about making a 3, a Condemned 3, but it never happened. And we've never gotten another game that plays like that either. I mean, that it really stands alone. Even if they wanted to not go with the ultra-violence, that... the feel of that combat system, I would just like to see come back.
I feel like... I obviously don't know which ones off the top of my head, but I feel like there have been some, you know, indie games that have, like, much kind of slower gameplay and more deliberate combat sort of thing. Like, it's out there. I just don't know a game to point you to.
Yeah. Well, we finished a very boring stealth segment where we spent most of the time talking about other things because it was boring.
Yeah.
But don't worry, next time we will finish our adventure. We will fight the final bosses and see the ending.
The climactic ending to Pitfall, Lost Expedition.
Or the big adventure if you're playing on the Wii in Europe.
Ah, yeah.